Hello everyone, my name is Yash Patel. Today's topic is General Coding Guidelines. The guidelines that promote good practices, maintainability, and readability across software development. The first one is the code readability and style. The following name convention use meaningful names and the variable functions and the classes. It is used cameless for variable and the functions. Use Pascal case for classes. Use upper snake case for construction and keep function short and simple. The functions should ideally perform one task, break large functions into the smaller ones. Use indications that promoting the stick to constant the indexes and use a coder formatter if available, like Predator and JavaScript or Black for Python. The documentary logic or intent use docstring in function and the models to explain the purpose. The second one is the code organization and the structures. The modularizations organize code into the small reusable models or the functions. Consistent file naming use lower snake case or kebab case. They are depending on the language guidelines. The separate constructions follow the single responsibility the principle. Each module or function should have only one reason to change. The third one is the error handling and logging. The handling exceptions gracefully used to try catch blocks or equivalent where necessary to prevent program crashes. The log important events and the errors use a logging framework where available instead of the printing directly to the console, and avoid silent failures. Inform users when the errors occurs either via logs or usually user friendly messages. Fourth one is the performance and the optimizations. The avoid premature optimization, write readable code when needed. Use builds in the functions effectively. Built-in functions are the optimized, so leverage them where possible. Minimize redundant calculation. Catch results when appropriate. The fifth one is the security practices. The validity user input always sanitize and validate external input to avoid injection attacks. Avoid hard coding sensitive information. Use environmental variable for the credentials and the API keys. Use secure libraries and the dependencies. Keep dependencies update and review them for vulnerabilities. The sixth one is the version control guidelines. The commit small logical changes. Each command should reflect coherent change. There is the write meaningful commit message. Follow the imperative mode. Use branching models. Develop features or bug fixes in separate branches. Sixth one is the testing and debugging. Write unit test. Cover edges, cases, and the critical paths with unit tests. The automate testing. Use continuous integrations pipeline where possible. The use debugging tools. Leverage IDE debuggings or print statements effectively. The eighth one is the documentation. The documentation is the APIs use tools like Swagger or Postman to document APIs. The add uses example, provide sample code or scenarios in the documentation for a better understanding. The maintained README files include setup instructions, uses, and the contribution in the README and MD. The ninth one is the code review practices. The peer review code review for logic clarity and the best practices. Give constructive feedback. Focus on the code, not the coder. Suggest alternatives where needed. Adopted coding standard. Use language specific standards. Example PE or Python for Python. The 10th is the maintainability and the maintainability and the scalability, where the dry code avoid duplication for following the do not repeat yourself principle. Do not repeat yourself principle for follow. Yagini avoid over engineering. You alert gonna need to refactor regulatory improve the structure of the code without changing functionality. The principles can be tailored to fit the specific languages, frameworks, and the team workflows, but they generally help in writing high quality. Thank you.